Nita and I are now, I'm 80, she's approaching 80. We've collected a lot of stuff. We had a lot of interests in our life, and it's now time for us to downsize. And we got some tough decisions to make. And I want to share our journey into what I call the fourth chapter of our life and how we're approaching it. Some of the stuff that we've gathered is actually quite valuable. This is probably from the 18th century, and we could probably basically lend it to a museum and it could appreciate in value and our kids could benefit in the future. And then there are some things that mean a lot to us but probably aren't real valuable, but maybe some of our friends would like to have it, our young friends. And then there are things that I would call adult toys that we've collected that we need to find a home for.
That's the decision we're dealing with, and it was all off in a distance and not really all that important to us until this past week. And I got a call from my cousin Sandy. She's 2 or 3 years younger than me, and we had been on a cruise with them about 2 years ago, and about a month after the cruise, Sandy had a stroke, and she took it pretty hard. And I saw her again about 3 months after it happened, and she had declined quite a bit. Well, she called this past weekend, and she started the call by telling me that she was making a call to all the people that she loved and cared about to say goodbye. That in essence what she said was, I'm going to be dying soon, and I just wanted to tell you how much I loved you, Carrie, and wanted to say goodbye. I try to deal with Sandy on an upbeat, and I asked her a favor. I said, well, do me a favor, Sandy, and schedule the funeral for the weekend, because I'm busy making videos during the week for my Best of Us investors and then my Best in Retirement. She didn't take that real well. In fact, then I said, if you'd like, why don't you join us for a cruise that we're going on in September before you die, if you can put it off that long. And her response was, how much is it? And I said, what the hell difference does that make? If you're going to die, you don't even have to pay the bill. She didn't think that was all that funny. And then Ernie, her husband, piped in and indicated that things are just getting so expensive. And he mentioned that their property taxes had gone up to over $1,000 a month. And I had been in their home. They live up in a northern city, and they live in kind of close to the downtown area. It's a big city. It's one of those cities that has both a professional football and a professional baseball team. And I said, well, how much is your house worth? And he said it was worth well over $1 million. And I said, well, then you don't have any problems. Why don't you sell your house and we'll all move down to Margaritaville, down off the beach, down on 30A of near Destin. And then Sandy dropped the bombshell. She indicated that Ernie's children, she's in a second marriage, had showed up this past week and took away their car keys. That's right, took away their car keys and basically said, you're isolated in a 3-story house that you can't climb the steps on, that you can't keep up with all the stuff, and you're isolated. That hit me right in the nose, because that could happen to me. That could happen to Nita and I. And then what happens? Oh yeah, we could have our groceries delivered, and we could eat with Grubhub and things of that nature. But that's the end. That's the end, and you're just waiting for the shoe to drop. So selling my home and downsizing started becoming more important. And I started looking at, again, all the stuff that we have and what are we going to do with it. And I think I told you in a previous video, I had taken the step to find out what exactly my house is worth. I gave it to Samantha, and she did a deep research in letting me know what the house is worth, what it's going to be worth in the next couple of years, how my neighborhood is rated for walking and for safety and everything like that. And in fact, if you'd like that, I can have Samantha do that for you as well. If you find yourself in a situation like Nita and I find ourselves in now, we got to make a decision. This is the fourth chapter of our life. I'm feeling good now. I'm taking my NMN every morning, and I've got all the energy that you can see here that I need to do what I love, and I love what I'm doing. But maybe it's time to take some action And the first step, as I say, is put my finances together. Get rid of the stuff that we've collected and find a home for it. It's like that Corvette I showed you. That's just not a 69 Corvette. That's a Corvette that Nita's father gave to my son 2 weeks after he was born, and then delivered to him on his 16th birthday down here in Birmingham, Alabama. They came down from Indianapolis. So there's a lot of meaning there, but there's a lot of expense along with it. It's an expensive toy. Even just to keep it stored someplace. We're lucky we got a 3-car garage, so we can do that. But we have to make these decisions. And that's what I'm going to dedicate at least once a week. I'm going to do a video to share with you Nita and I's experience in chapter 4 of our lives. How do I say 4? Well, the first was we were an expense. We were born and we didn't produce much. We just ate and pooped and didn't really do much. Then we went into chapter 2, and that was our education phase. And then we went into chapter 3, and that's when we were productive and we created a life and we gathered all this stuff. Now we're back almost to chapter 1, where we poop a lot, and we have to be, eventually we're going to have to be taken care of. So we need to make decisions today while we still can. And the first one is to downsize. And that comes before you can start downsizing. Find out what the most valuable asset you own, like Ernie and Sandy. They got $1 million house that they could only use, of the 3 floors, they can only use 1. Well, what's keeping you there? And it's a burden because it's $1,000 every month for taxes. So get rid of that burden. And let's extend the chapter 4 of our life and eliminate the worries and the concerns that come with becoming a dependent. Because that's exactly what's going to happen unless we get unlucky and we die unexpectedly. Well, I don't know, maybe that's the good way. But then somebody else has to take care of my and Nita's problem of downsizing and getting rid of our stuff. Again, if you don't know what your property's worth, if you don't have a good real estate agent, we found the West team, Mary Jo and Seymour, who have a certification in dealing with seniors, who know the contractors, who know what to do. Like we've been in this house over 30 years. We planted a magnolia tree back here. It was just a stick. It's now overtaking the backyard. We need probably $2,000, $3,000 worth of tree work done in our yard. I don't know where to go to get that done, but Seymour and Mary Jo do, and so does Samantha. All I got to do, I guess, is ask Samantha, find me the most trusted tree expert in Birmingham, Alabama, and Samantha has knowledge, has access to all the knowledge in the world. I'd like to unleash her for you as well. So, do 2 things. Number 1, give some thought to it. Number 2, get the evaluation that Samantha can do for you on your property. I'll put a link. There's a link. In fact, all you got to do is take your camera on your phone and put it on, scan this code, and it'll give you the fill-out form so that Seymour can put Samantha on evaluating your home, and you can travel with Nita and I as we move down this road into chapter 4 of our lives. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll get back to you next week, and maybe I'll have some more thoughts on how to make this I don't know if it can be called enjoyable, but bearable experience.